Oh. Hello everybody, I'm with WaffleswithSpain, and for the 2000 subs special I'm going to give you some tips for cross-players. It's mostly for when you do casual cosplay, so I'm going to give you some tips you can use when you're shopping for clothes. You know, what will look good on you and what will make you, convincingly look like the male character you're imitating. Okay, so I'm first going to give you a few tips for different kinds of shirts you can wear, and then for trousers, shoes, what will look good, and then a few tips for coats, shirts. As a general tip, you might tend to buy something that's kind of a baggy fit because it tends to hide your hips and waist and everything, but it's not going to look very good actually. Men don't wear clothes that are baggy, they wear clothes that fit. Try to find clothes that really do fit you, and if anything, go for a slim fit rather than something that's a bit more loose or baggy. So another tip is that you can buy clothing with fabric that doesn't stretch. So instead of a t-shirt, you can buy a button-up or dress shirt. Things like waistcoats all works fine. T-shirts tend to kind of hug your shape and show off your beautiful waist and hips, and you don't really want that. When you wear a button-up, it's going to kind of have a shape of its own, and it's going to show that shape. It will give you a much more sort of masculine figure. So the next tip is you don't wear something that has short sleeves. Instead you can wear long sleeves or sleeves that you roll up to the elbow. The short sleeves are, they're going to show off that you do not have a lot of muscle in your arms. Short sleeves will usually tend to do this thing where they sort of stick out like this, and that's going to make your it's going to make your arms look even thinner. When you wear rolled up sleeves, they kind of hide the fact that your arms are not very muscled, and they tend to help give your torso a more sort of V-like shape. So if you wear something with a pattern like stripes, try to go for vertical stripes rather than horizontal ones, because vertical stripes will make you look taller, and horizontal stripes will kind of break up your figure, probably just make you look short and fat. So another thing you can do is wear more irregular patterns. If binder doesn't work well, then an irregular pattern will sort of break that all up and make it look more flat. And what also helps is dark colours. They kind of hide your boobs. Trousers. So first tip for the kind of model that you want to wear, I would say slim or tapered. Tapered is kind of like slim, it's a bit more loose at your butt. A baggy model would just look a bit too loose, which would also make your sort of bottom half look a bit bigger, which you don't want, because you actually would like to look like you have a smaller butt than you do. A skinny fit will just really show up your curves in your thighs and butt, and you don't want that either. Another tip if you wear jeans is that it looks good if you have this kind of color difference between the center and the sides of your jeans. The whole point of that sort of creates an optic illusion that your legs are skinnier than they are. That's great, especially since guys tend to have smaller thighs than girls. So it may be hard to find trousers that really fit you in terms of length. They might be too long, but you should really try to do that. To look tall, you kind of want to increase the length of the seam between your legs. If you have a low crotch, it's going to look shorter. If the length of your trousers is too big and they're going to wrinkle a bit at the bottom, you're also kind of breaking up that line, and it's going to make it look shorter. So the next part is shoes. If you can't find shoes that fit because you might have small feet, you might want to look at the boys department rather than the men's. I guess it tends to be cheaper anyway. It's much easier to find shoes that fit there. But it might actually not be too bad if you wear shoes that aren't too big for you, especially if you're only going to do it for a one-time cosplay. If they're too big and you can stuff them at the front with, I don't know, newspapers or something, it's going to look like you have longer feet. Guys tend to have longer feet than girls, so yeah. If your character has a more fancy taste, you might also think about wearing Oxford shoes. They're a bit more expensive. I think it's hard to get them cheap because they have this sort of point at the end. They will make you look taller and make your feet look longer, and generally they look very stylish and masculine. So last part is about coats. One tip I have is that while long coats are absolutely awesome, they also make you look way shorter because they kind of break up your figure or whatever. I don't know. I want to wear something that's half long or just short. You might want to watch out with wearing leather coats. They're kind of gender neutral, might look kind of gay. So unless that's what you want your character to look like, maybe not wear leather. I think that's it for cosplay tips. I think this will be a one-time thing, but if you want me to do more, I guess I can. So thank you for watching. If you like this, maybe check out the channel and become a waffle. Schat, voor de bloopers. Kijk Hannes, hallo tegen de wafels. Oké. No. Hele enthousiaste wafel.